I'll do it.
Do some gremlins.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Netherblock, the show.
I'm Joe.
Where we build a giant 64 by 64 by 64 block of netherrack in Minecraft.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
I'm Albert.
I'm Tony. I'm Tony.
I'm Joe.
I thought we were. You already introduced yourselves.
Oh, God.
You tried to throw me off. Ha! And you got what was coming to you.
I don't freaking believe that. I don't care.
So, tell us again about how you wall yourself up in a safe place before the recording, Joe.
Oh, then I started mining. I was fine before the recording.
Alright, Joe, I fixed my sound, so you get it right. Oh, look,
Yay.
I found the sign. Contact at Joseph Devon for survival server info. Because he threw a major fit once because people were using some creative. Because the Nexus.
It's not a creative server. We would have figured it out.
Who is doing this? This is rude.
What?
There's like one of these not lava blocks. What are they called? Magma blocks?
Yes.
Magma block.
Right here at the bottom of the stair.
It's been there for 3 or 4 episodes now.
I haven't needed it for a while. Oh, that was a. No, that's what I want.
Okay, it's already defaulted back to being the wrong setting, so I don't have game audio.
Why is it doing that?
I'm taking some of your chickens, but I had some of my own.
What?
Somebody has chickens in the thing, and I had added like
Chickens?
I wanted to cook them my own chicken legs, chicken pieces, whatever. I don't know.
Oh, and the thing. I gotcha. Check.
Jerk.
Nothing on the nothing is working block.
We just spent a full hour trying to get OBS and various other things to work.
Yeah, are we actually going? Because Tony's stuff isn't working.
I've always thought that sound in the game was mostly irrelevant for this, but...
It's irrelevant.
After your opinion about the couch today, I have zero...
I don't even know what I'm doing. We record with sound, we're gonna go without it for this instance because we just don't have any more troubleshooting time left. And we gotta get this in the
That's
hopper.
true, you gotta do a thing.
It's starting to work a little bit better now.
Perfectionism is not.
It's not a granular thing. It either works or it doesn't. It doesn't sort of work. You're getting some of your sounds through your headset and some through your
It's like
desktop.
only pickaxe sounds.
I'm getting only
Pikmin.
Windows sounds through my computer speakers that are being recorded onto the video, but my Minecraft noises are coming directly through the headset.
Did you restart Minecraft before, like, you reset the sound?
I don't remember. It's all a blur.
Because once you've changed, like, Minecraft won't change until you've actually restarted it, even if you reset it in Windows.
Alright, well, let me restart.
No, this is not exciting content for the viewers. But
Oh, this is all cut out.
Well, I have to go mining, so...
I'm going mining.
Ooh.
Over here on my spot that Joe doesn't like.
What spot do you have?
This, I don't know, did you fall to your death here or something?
Yes. Is it in the nether?
Yes.
Check yes or no. Then yes, I fell to my death at some point. Oh, this is the worst.
Alright, I think it's working properly.
Invented this game.
That would be Notch? Didn't he invent it?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure he also probably just developed it and had a bunch of other people working for him or something. I don't even know.
I think he was pretty small to start.
And then
It's
he
still
ate a
pretty
lot.
small. Yeah, it's still a pretty
Some
small team.
cheeseburgers.
Considering how much money this game makes, I'm always surprised they don't have more than like 15 people working on it.
How would they confuse all the different versions just with more than 15 people, Tony?
I know.
Also, you're just like, well, it makes a lot of money. Let's spend a lot of money on it.
I'm just saying they could afford to spend a little bit of money on it.
This is the world where they're like Ford's decided we're no longer making cars. Y'all buy so many F-150s. It's just there's no point in doing anything else.
Are they
We're
still
the
going to be making
F-150
Mustangs?
company. Whoa, that was scary.
They're also going to be making some, like, they're going to still be making some SUVs and such.
Those aren't cars.
Well, you said only F-150s. I'm wondering if they're going to keep making the Mustang, though. Is that going to be like their only car? Because they sell a hell of a lot of those.
They're definitely not selling sedans anymore. Like, nothing with 4 doors.
Why would you want a sedan anyway?
Why would you want, like, the other thing?
What? A useful giant truck that's awesome?
Like, I never need any of the space in my, like, Toyota 4Runner, which I do dearly love.
Exactly. It's more awesome. And it's American.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Toyota's American?
No, I'm saying it's American to have more space.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Have more than you need and poor gas mileage. That's what we do here.
After your couch thoughts, I have zero respect for your input.
That tweet was amazing.
To be fair, I was not the one that actually designed the second one. That was Al trying to mock me, and now I'm pushing to make that closer to what we end up using.
No, the thing is, I pushed to mock you, and my mockery was so spot on, you're like, yeah, but that actually. So here's the thing. I'm working on trying to design a new banner for the YouTube. Because I have to push buttons, like, I'm a trained monkey that's, like, jamming whatever lever I can to get more YouTube stuff.
Yeah, and so Al thinks that like making us like very, very homogenous NPR style is going to make it so that we.
With Tony's take on the logo. It does need roughing up. It looks a bit clip arty. I'll give you that. But then Al went full Tony.
He actually made a middle ground one with a black couch that looked better.
I haven't posted any of them yet. I guess Joe's gonna have to put these up on the video so people can see.
Them.
Well, yeah, they're on Twitter if you'll want to go find them on Twitter. But
yes, go back to last Friday, 2 Fridays ago. Friday. Wait, so that's what. How
does time work with Joseph Devon?
Not last Friday, not like the Friday that just started the weekend we're coming off of, but the Friday before that. And go to Tony's Twitter feed.
Or you could be watching this like 4 years later. Who knows?
No, that's not awful. I didn't even think of that. Oh God.
It just means Joe has to put the pictures in because, like, there's this awesome bloody couch, and then there's like this
this awesome bloody couch with help written in tears on it. Someone knifed the words "help" into this block. And he's like, "I like that one." What does your couch look like? Does it look like that?
I actually have a very nice couch.
I have a blue thrift store couch.
I decided I was an adult and had to get actual furniture that wasn't like a fourth-time hand-me-down, and I have a nice couch.
I've never owned a new couch. Is it like brand new? Like you went to the furniture store?
Yep.
Well, you decadent bastard.
I know.
Yeah, is this like backlash from that you don't want our logo couch to look nice?
I just think that like the bad couch sells better.
Sells what?
Sells whatever we do here.
We're not making punk rock. This isn't a Satanism instructional DVD. It's our channel where we play Kerbal and Minecraft.
And have 5 facts.
And have 5 facts.
And AVA.
And booze and booze.
And booze and booze. Ooh, when is that? We gotta get you. I gotta sit down with you.
Yeah, we don't actually have that yet. Don't.
Oh, by the time the video comes out, we might.
We might. Okay. Tony's not gonna put it up early for members or anything. He doesn't care about them.
No, I think we are gonna do that early for members. Like.
You don't do it with 5 facts. It's just something that is interesting.
Oh, well, that's because that would take me actually doing an extra 5 facts to get that out.
Just skip a month.
And that just hasn't. Ow.
Yes.
A month.
It's every 2 weeks. So the people getting on YouTube would have to wait a month instead of 2 weeks.
Yep.
Or they could wait 3 weeks if he did it like a week early.
Yeah, I would like to just push and get like an extra one out.
But you haven't in like a year.
We do that around Halloween sometimes.
Yeah, I did like 4 extra ones in Halloween. It would have been like or 2 extra ones around Halloween. That would have been the perfect time to do it. Someday, members will get 5 facts early. Someday. Just like all couches eventually turn into the couch that I like.
Yes, with bloody slash marks in it that spell out help. That was my favorite part. The couch is actually asking for help, and Tony's like, "Oh, I like that one."
I mean, if Westworld's taught us anything, it's that like suffering is the way to humanity.
Is that what Westworld's taught us? I thought it taught us that like humans suck, and so does almost everybody else. That was my impression.
I mean, there were some nice couches in Westworld that probably got pretty ruined too.
Oh, that is fair. I'll give you that.
They quoted the price at one point. Do you guys remember?
Of
it?
a
It was
couch?
about $40,000 to go to Westworld, which
A day.
yeah. Considering what you're doing to all these like robotic humanoid creatures, I'm kind of surprised it's not more expensive. You drop like
I'll be honest.
$200K, something like that.
You mentioning the ruined couches actually struck more home for me because that's just more relatable. I have some sense of like what that would cost. That's
Yeah, it's like, especially because they're kind of nice looking couches. They probably have like an entire construction crew just like that's rebuilding that sort of stuff.
The robots don't take over Westworld every week. Like the ruined couches are incidental.
talking-
They have gunfights.
Yeah, there's gunfights and there's all sorts of
plenty
stuff
furniture getting beat
exploding.
up.
Are you talking about the couch in like the brothel?
Yeah, like stuff like that. That would get expensive
Everywhere.
over
There's
time.
gunfire constantly and dynamite and
Yes.
like
They in the season 1. There's like one mention of that they have to approve like an explosion happening.
Yeah.
And
because
they've like
the Man in Black, they're like, he gets anything he wants.
Well, right, but then they never go back to that, even though there's many
I think
instances.
that was the like the lampshade. They were like, here, we're gonna explain how this works.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. It
bother
was
with
kind of ridiculous in a way.
I thought it was. I actually like. I was like, oh, okay. So they sort of touched on how
they
this
have,
works.
like,
Yeah, but if
nitroglycerin.
I like the idea that they were able to, like, if somebody tries to do something really dumb that could actually hurt them, they have override powers.
Somehow. Like,
Yeah, I'm not
so
sure
what
how
was
that
he
would
holding?
work. Yeah.
Was he holding like a submit your explosion form in his? It was the cigar scene.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like
Exploding
whenever you
cigar
try to
scene.
use a thing of C4, do you just like magically like get notified or notify the company?
Because it's not virtual reality; it's real physical stuff. It's confusing. But they attempted to be like, well, here's what would happen if you really went crazy. They also are like, this guy's killed like 40 people. Should we try and slow him down? Which I was also like, what are you gonna do? Like,
Knock him
I
out.
get that you
Give
run the
him
world.
like harder people to kill, I would assume.
Just have
Yes.
everybody walk in the opposite direction, so he's just like finding ghost towns all over the place.
Yeah, you could do
It's
that.
hard to kill. Like, again, how do you make someone harder to kill when you're invulnerable?
They can still damage you.
I guess they can.
Yeah, they can tie you up and like beat you up and all that sort
Yeah,
of
they do
stuff.
tie people up. It's true.
But you might end up
guess.
throwing like 7 people in there trying to like get it, and he might kill just another 7 people.
There's also
yeah.
the question
And
of
their- and
things
their
that
couch.
can't be within your control, like weather.
Yeah, and couches.
Can it be in your control?
I mean, they don't show a dome or anything, so
yeah, but the
You know what's really weird is that I've talked to 4 people that thought that they were shrinking people down and that the Westworld stuff was happening in the control room. Like where they have the
That's-
diorama. I'm like, that's not how this works. This is not Downsize Me. This is not Matt Damon.
I mean, that would be an interesting twist, but they thought that was literally just what the show was saying was happening?
Yeah, that they're getting like put in this, like they're getting shrunk down because there's that map.
it's clearly like a graphical representation. Like there's,
That's a
you can
nice
see the-
graphical representation,
Yeah.
I'll give them
Yeah,
that.
but
Yeah, they got mad at me because the look I gave them was apparently very derisive.
it's not a Wii World. It's a Westworld.
I mean, Matt Damon did make that, downsizing movie?
Yeah,
What was that?
It's called
did anybody
Downsizing.
see that? Like, I saw
bought a
the
zoo?
trailers and I was like, this
It's not
could
called
be okay.
We Built a Zoo. We built a zoo and shrank it down to save costs. Downsize me.
Honey, I downsized the world.
Honey,
Yes.
I downsized
Did you-
the zoo because it wasn't being profitable, so we had to make it a little smaller.
It was, I mean, I thought it was interesting, like one of these sci-fi, speaking of Westworld, sci-fi concepts that could have been really interesting, and then, like, they kind of didn't do with it as much as they could have. This is not, like, we're trying to stay away from spoilers, but I'm also watching Altered Carbon. Not,
Which is like the rare show that all 3 of us seem to like.
Yeah,
like the first
that's
episode.
been weird.
But I like the hard
I'll hate it soon enough.
sci-fi stuff of, you're able to swap out your consciousness, and you can technically do that in Westworld because they're robots, but they like never do. Like you don't see people who used to have, like Dolores used to be in a different model thing, and now she
Yeah,
swaps from
it's
body
always
to
her
body
face.
to body. Because people.
We sort of touched on this in the bonus podcast.
Oh, did we? I'm sorry if
just-
I'm doubling
We
now.
were just talking, not that especially, but we were talking T2 and why the Robert Pat. I got the name wrong again.
Patrick.
Why the T2000 was always,
The same
Patrick.
face.
That,
yeah, when he could be literally anyone and do anything. Like it's because you have to, you know.
Could it be Madonna?
Yes.
That would be interesting if he came back and he was like impersonating celebrities.
and
Yeah,
there
but he
have
was,
been
like, the kid's
characters
favorite-
in Westworld that have had merged personalities. Like they've just taken multiple personalities from older models and put them in. So
Yeah, but
it
we
happens
don't like
occasionally.
see that happen. I mean, it doesn't. We're told that it has happened. You see what I'm
I also
saying?
think it's just one too many, not gimmicks, but like
People can't take it.
concepts. I don't think the story can. You keep talking like about people are gonna. It's those squares in Boise that are stopping them from getting real down on the science fiction. I think that just the storytelling will just start to get like, damn, this gets confusing, and then you got to make sure you're.
Yeah, because those
Got
squares in
figured-
Boise can't figure it out.
I disagree. Don't worry, you'll be confused enough by Altered Carbon by the end. It'll be fine.
Yeah, especially
looking
because
forward to
Westworld
that.
isn't the most straightforward show out there anyway. Like by
Yes.
the halfway through season 2, it's like, all right, there's a lot of things happening here, and I'm not entirely sure anymore. It's like I'm gonna go watch Al's recap so I can figure it out and see if Al knows.
I've never actually watched Al recap something I've watched. It'd be hilarious if he was just dead wrong and like, it's like, so this week they shrunk the people down and put them in the. It's just like, oh no, Al, no! What have you been doing this whole time?
Now I want to see like the parody series where we're trying to do that.
They shrunk a cowboy down this time. Then they sent him after the man in black.
They did it because economically, like, you use a lot less resources if you're tiny. Matt Damon taught us that. I mean, that's like the entire point of that, isn't it? Like, your wealth will go like...
actually backed off of that.
No,
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet. It's in the trailer. They're like, your wealth will go 10 times further if you shrink yourself down.
I guess. I mean, yes, you could have like a Cocoa Puff that would last you for a year, but...
Yeah, but the other, like, either there's a certain amount of stuff that would not, like, do better, because you'd save on materials, right? To some extent. But you can't, like, if you're a tiny person and you make a couch out of regular-sized cloth, it's gonna, like, the thread count's gonna be terrible. So you have to either have to shrink stuff that already exists,
Yeah.
or
Well, think about...
shrink the materials, and then you still have to
then
put
make
the
it?
work in to make them?
Which is the
Yeah,
exact
and
same
it's just a normal couch, it's just downsized.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Yeah, like
have more
or a
gold
circuit
and
board.
stuff.
You can't...
Yeah, but you could do so many other weird things, like dive into a giant pool of Jell-O that only costs you like $1.
It would be fun. But then you also get into, like, does the oxygen shrink?
It
you're
also
screwed.
only kind of works if you still have full-size people.
Or if you go like Ant-Man, where all of a sudden you still weigh the same amount, but you're tiny.
But they're real inconsistent on that one anyway.
Yeah, they really are. It's like, that's why the punches hit so hard, but then he's like able to walk on a knife without it like actually doing anything.
Or on people without them actually, like, collapsing and stuff. Or carry a tank around in his pocket.
Or an entire
Shouldn't
building
just-
in the next one.
Just have, like, Superman rules where he can just control inertia, essentially. That's really what he's
Yes.
doing.
Or how he can just like squeeze his face hard enough that nobody recognizes him.
Who, Clark Kent?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the,
Like, seriously,
girl-
like, he just puts a constipated face on all the time, and that's like, people are like, oh, he's a totally different person.
That's just Zack Snyder, Tony.
He
Yeah, that is
he
the
totally
Zack
puts
Snyder
on like
version.
a constipated mustache and then edits it out.
He gets... He gets a little more nebbishy in the Christopher Reeve ones, but there's a lot of there's some good jokes about that.
You could
of them
really
is,
tell, like, Zack Snyder's like, I don't like people who aren't tough and mean, so we're not gonna do that with our Superman Clark Kent combo.
We get it. You're insecure. You have to ruin an entire franchise.
I mean, I would say that Superman was ruined long ago.
I'm well aware of this. Stop your thing. Don't. That's fine. Great. Don't like helm the remaking or like the big comeback of it. It's maybe like, hey, this isn't my thing. Not. Let's have him murder a bunch of people. Relentless. Let's beat the hell out of.
I mean, Batman did
bad
more
guys.
murder.
True. Well, I'm thinking he didn't technically murder, but I mean the fights
mean,
in Superman
Batman
are just
definitely
these
did some murder.
brutal beatings.
Batman's like, oh, I'm going to put 75 30 cal rounds into this car in front of me.
Somebody pointed out also one of the interesting, like, limitations of the DC films is that, like, when Snack Snyder,
Snack
Snyder,
Now that's a guy I can get behind.
when Snack Snyder is
Snyder.
directing, he's like, the thing he has that people do is just always like the most blunt instrument decision
Yes.
possible. Like, you'll have Marvel where they're like, you know, Thor hits Iron Man with his lightning bolt and it overcharges him, and then he's able to shoot like bolts back harder, and you know, then like Iron Man tries to hit Cap's shield and it like bounces back in a weird way, and they sort of play with the powers. And then when you're in a DC movie, it's just like, I hit you really hard. No, I
Yes.
hit you really hard.
Sort of. I mean, I would also argue that Marvel, to some degree, just boils down to punching.
At some point,
You know, in Civil War, it's ridiculous the number of people who are like, "What if I tried punching him?" It's like, no, that didn't work. Think of something else.
At least Infinity War had a bit different things than that. There was some
Yes,
pretty
that's
interesting
it, yeah.
stuff. Doctor Strange is probably the most creative about that. He's not really
oh,
the punching type.
those were some good stuff there. I mean, it's still a lot of it still ends up with like, can I get a thing moving fast at this other person that's really big?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the fist, but
There, it's a gun. I figured it out for you. Sorry, comic books.
yeah, but
Turns out-
in like Infinity War, it's like a gun that shoots a moon at people.
The Death Star?
Yes.
That's a different franchise, though.
Not anymore.
Oh yeah, I guess
You
not.
can cross over now. You're just gonna have Chris Pratt show up in like the 7th Jedi or whatever.
Sure, why not? Great. The
7th
Fuck it.
Jedi?
Go ahead.
7th Jedi.
Let's go nuts. Anything else you want to throw in there?
Episode 9, whatever.
Man, could episode 9 be called 7 Sith? Okay, just like
Sith
7,
Sense,
like it's
or-
just
No, the Sith Sense! Oh my god!
Woohoo!
The Sith Sense.
Copyright! Copyright!
Patent pending.
How about Sith Burn?
No, that's the offshoot that comes out of it. The Rogue One type movie.
How are we not in charge of this?
Somebody get Kevin Feige on the horn.
I've never understood why people always talk about how Ewan McGregor heard like the Attack of the Clones title and he was like, really? That's what they're calling it? And I'm like, what franchise do you think you're in, dude? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So he's in talks to actually make like an Obi-Wan movie right now. Like,
Yes. Al almost died.
what happened? Words. Use words.
No, it's a medium. It's a visual medium.
No, it's a visual medium. Right? Am I doing this right? I don't know.
The Sith Sense was really good though, Joe.
There was a, what's the girl from New Girl? Zoe Deschanel. There's a photo of her without bangs, and this is like a meme going around. It's utterly unrecognizable, and maybe it's a tweet. They're like, I've seen this photo of Zoe Deschanel without bangs, and I pretty much entirely understand the whole Clark Kent Superman thing. It's just, you're just like, what the it's could be done. There's also the notion that, so...
It's also a weird lighting on her at that, but like somebody posted other pictures of her without bangs. They're just like, there's just something weird about her in this particular photo. So
I can see that too. But there's also the joke that whenever Superman goes to the beach with his friends, he can never recognize anyone because they all put on sunglasses. Just thinks they always ditch him. It's like, oh no! Or maybe Lois Lane would be a better one. Lois Lane goes to the beach.
I mean, Superman. There's a lot of people that just have like that little, I don't know what you call the single, like eye mask. I want the movie that like addresses the fact that Batman has to put eye black on to make the mask look right.
Yep.
Although he didn't always. I've seen like riff tracks of some old Batmans where he just still had the cloth mask and just put it on, and his eyes look ridiculous in it.
You know, the movie Kick-Ass actually did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they had a scene where Nicolas Cage was standing in front of the mirror, like psyching himself up, putting on his eyeshadow.
That's a fetish. For someone.
He does that in all his movies, though. It just made sense in this one.
In his dressing room.
That's
just how he gets into his character.
I still absolutely love that series. I keep hoping they'll make a third one, but I don't think they're going to.
I liked the second one too. I guess I really enjoyed it in theaters, and people like kept bashing on it. Eventually, I was like, I guess it's not that great, but I enjoyed the second one. I went and saw it in theater.
It was like the last good Jim Carrey movie.
I was going to say,
he was so good in yeah.
But he didn't promo it because he all of a sudden decided that it was too violent.
Guns, you guys.
Yes.
I've decided in what was it, 2014? Suddenly guns were bad.
Yes. Or movies with guns in them caused gun violence.
I could see to a certain point, like
There's
thinking
no correlations.
No, but I'm saying like if you all of a sudden started to believe that you already had made a movie, you're like, well, yeah, I guess I made that movie, but I'm not going to promote it.
Yeah, and your wife already convinced you that vaccines are bad and so on. He's a little gullible.
Yes. Apparently. Or he just... Are they still married?
I don't think so.
Man, his life took a weird turn. I would not have seen that coming. From the happy-go-lucky Dumb and Dumber.
I just miss him being a stand-up comedian.
Just miss him being funny.
Well, that's what happens when Zack Snyder got a hold of him.
That's the grim, dark reboot of Jim Carrey. Just always looks constipated.
I like this Jim Carrey guy. What if he was like in all these dark movies and his wife left him?
He was really dumb and he just punched things.
Yeah, just punch things. That's good, Zach. Thanks. Why don't you,
Why don't you take a seat?
We're gonna have him like take a stand against guns though, so that he's relatable. You know, that's what the people want.
Just punching, more punching.
The thing is,
No
Zack
guns.
Snyder just needs a character like the Punisher. That's all he needs.
Yes, exactly. That would be perfect. Fine, great, do that. Why the hell he's helming like the other characters is beyond. It's Punisher's Marvel, I guess.
Yeah.
It's because he did really well with adapting some comics. That was why they grabbed him.
Yeah, that's a fair
Zack
point.
Snyder is really good at taking stuff that was already successful and adapting it directly. He's not good at making up his own stories. So, like, I think
Also, the
his
stuff he,
Watchmen
like-
stuff is amazing because he's just, like, straight up taking that story and saying, I'm bringing this word for word to screen. He does that when he gets into his other stuff. He takes bits and pieces of other stuff that did work and brings it to screen without the context of what made
Yes.
it good. That's his...
You know what was awesome was when that guy punched that other guy. Superman punched Batman to death. It's like, no, hang on there, Zach.
You know, I mean, the argument, and this is not an argument original to me, but, you know, Superman and Batman fight after they've had, like, years and years and years of collaboration as a, you know, superhero team, and then they're like, but what if, they, you know, Elseworlds, what if they didn't get along, and what are these things that would, you know, lead them to break this relationship apart, and still, like, they do have a friendship that is being torn apart even while they're fighting. Like, there's something to lose there in the original Dark Knight. I think Dark Knight. I forget what it's.
It was the Frank Miller Dark Knight.
Yeah. But then Zack Snyder's like, yeah, I loved it when Batman's punched Superman. What up? Let's do that. Like, he didn't get it, man.
No.
Yeah, because at that point, like, Batman hadn't even, like, seen Superman in person yet.
It's like, I hate this guy. Actually, that setup was not. That was one of the few things where I was like, that's not the worst thing.
It was.
I actually didn't even mind Affleck there. But then it escalates way too fast.
The way it
with no one
escalates,
being
though,
like,
involves, like, it's not like, oh, you know, we have a different mentality about how we approach crime. It's Lex Luthor kidnaps Martha and forces
honestly, I had no idea.
Batman or forces Superman.
I don't know.
No, yeah,
I don't
because
know.
Batman doesn't have
It's just
anybody to
a
kidnap.
hot mess.
Yeah, I mean, he
that
could
doesn't
kidnap
work.
Alfred.
I guess.
It's true.
And then, like,
It's like, I know we'll get back at
plus,
Batman.
that's, like, very useful kidnapping. Like, you just, like, you could get him, like, working in the kitchen and helping you out with stuff, giving
we
you
don't know
advice.
You don't know who it is. Right? Does Lex Luthor figure out who Batman is?
I can't even remember.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was so all over the goddamn place. And there was that bullet, and there was a... It was so bad. It was just chaos of the movie. And I agree with what Al said. Like, none of the stuff that should be cool worked, because none of it was deserved. None of it was earned in the movie. Just like punchline after punchline, no pun intended. With this, like... Oh, God, it was a hot mess. And then oh my God.
Justice League had also, like, one of the worst bad guys ever. Like, how often are they going to do the whole terror...
Blob, or whatever it was.
No, it was Steppenwolf. No, that...
Oh, Justice League had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, I think I've not read the comics, but I've heard people who have read the comics really like Steppenwolf. They were excited for the idea of him. It's just, again, like execution.
Yeah, but how
is
many
he-
times are they
what's
going to
his
have,
deal?
like, the same, like, terraforming plot in those DC movies? They've had, like, 4 movies, and that's been
How
the
else
plot,
are you
like,
going to
4
destroy the
times.
world?
And have it be an
blow it up,
allegory
I don't
for,
know.
like, human devastation on the planet or whatever?
You don't have to just, you could, you know, threaten a building, you know? You don't have to actually have the...
I mean,
it's
this
okay,
was our,
guys.
like,
That's
and
why
again,
I care
this
about
is,
Daredevil more than I care about a lot of the Marvel stuff. I actually like the local story. That's why Logan was
Yeah.
one of the best, like, comic book movies ever.
Yes.
there's that line. Have you guys seen the trailers for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
I have
No.
not.
So the new trailer that came out, this is an animated Spider-Man movie where they're just gonna have like multiple different versions of Spider-Man. They're gonna have Miles Morales, and there's like an Elseworlds version of Spider-Man that's not Peter Parker, but he's white, and then like Gwen Stacy is a Spider Person.
Spider-Girl.
Yeah, and Miles Morales asks this other guy who's mentoring him, whose comic name I forget. He says, you know, how do you deal with it? How do you deal with saving the world? And he says, well, you don't think about saving the world. You think about saving one person. And that's like, that's good, like, comic book sort of writing device in general. You know, it's not, nobody cares about the world. I mean, I say nobody, but
Well, it's,
like, when,
if they had blown up Alderaan from the Death Star without Princess Leia in the room, it would have been like, okay, well, that thing exploded.
yeah.
Because she's there, like, no! Like, freaking out about all the people that are on it. You're like, oh, I get it. There were people there. You really could blow up the world. I don't think anyone would care if you had that big angle.
Yeah.
It would almost be comical, actually. It'd be hard to have that shot and not have it be just like...
I remember we talked about this in our review of Ant-Man, that, like, it's not, like, literally the climactic battle of that has nothing to do with saving the world at all. I mean, like, in the larger scope, I guess, technically, but he is, like, fighting in his daughter's bedroom. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Like, that's the scope there, is that, like, he's saving one person, and it works. It's a good fight. That's not, like, a perfect movie or anything, but...
Yeah, because, like, I did not care anything about that bad guy, but I had fun with the entire movie.
Have anybody got to see Ant-Man and the Wasp yet? I haven't got there.
I have not.
What was the bad guy?
Yellow
Ant-Man?
Jack.
I can't remember.
I think is his name.
Standard angry, like, CEO guy.
Same, also with, like, I have the same tech that you have kind of deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which they
happens a
inverted
lot.
in the next one, at least. It looks like they've got somebody who can walk through walls, which is pretty cool.
I haven't
There's
actually heard
somebody coming
anybody
up with-
talk about that movie yet.
Yeah, I haven't either. Well, I did hear someone mention, like, you kick off the summer with, Infinity War and Thanos will return, and then you're like, now get really excited for the Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's like, but who cares? The world's like on the brink of death. Don't we, we're gonna pull back now and have a...
I think
maybe
they
some
are dealing
new order
with,
of
like, somebody mentioned... I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know, but I've been heard that they actually, like, the events of Infinity War have happened in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Interesting. Well, they wouldn't have to, but it would be weird.
But I guess
that
not
movie come
to
out.
any of our main characters,
Oh,
Yes, also
fortunately.
that. Thank God for... How about that? Woo! That was fortunate.
I mean, they got rid of a fair amount of main characters.
No,
As
I meant in
temporary as
Ant-Man.
That's probably going to be.
Ant-Man's main
Yeah.
characters. Luckily, all the people needed for that story are...
They weren't on Thanos'
On Thanos.
list. They didn't really
He
have
didn't
a
check
list.
it twice.
Did he have a list?
No, he did it random.
I guess
be
they
rich
never
and
like went
poor
into
and
like what
blah,
what
blah,
kind of
blah.
algorithm is Thanos running in that
Thanos.
in that glove?
How exactly are you doing this? How's your decision
No,
process?
the subreddit that did it, they posted their methodology. Now we need to see what you did.
I love that they did that. Cut off half their subs. That's
You had to sign up though. It wasn't like everybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they thought like if you could just like they didn't want to just give away that they thought that would be kind of weird if the mods or
I'm
is
dead.
it the mods could just
Oh.
go into the they
Random
didn't want that
emerald
to
on
be
the ground.
available information for the people operating the thing where they could just see everybody who was subscribed. So you had to sign up, and then if you did, you got banned. But it was like a large portion of the sub. Some people who weren't even members of the sub signed up to be banned.
Unexpected Thanos. Ah, that's water. So
What
after all
happens
this time, we've got-
if a planet has an odd number of people on it?
It's an interesting question. And we already discussed: does he destroy the plant life? All the strawberries or half the strawberries gone?
Yeah,
Birds?
gut,
Where does he draw the line?
gut biome.
Yeah. I have a feeling
Well,
it's.
monkeys
Does
it's
everybody
flying
have
creatures.
diarrhea like real bad, or is it like the gut biome in half the people, and then he doesn't figure out like, does he have to calculate if those half of the people are half of the like in the half that is gonna survive?
There's a sentence there.
What the hell was that? I think I know what you're saying. You're saying if the gut biomes count as something and the humans count as something, and half of all of them go, you might wind up with humans going but gut biomes sticking around, or gut biomes going and humans sticking around.
Yeah.
Which,
Which
yeah, I
really,
don't know.
really puts a nasty spin on the I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. He's just left with an armful of poop.
Oh God!
Half of the yogurts all go bad.
Biome.
You should probably censor who you just said, just in case.
Oh yeah. It's.
Joe
gut
hasn't even
biome.
seen it, and
I haven't seen it.
he knows.
Yeah.
We also just did reveal that Thanos wins, so
Yeah.
Well, no, it's part one. If you didn't figure that out, I'm sorry, I can't even consider that a spoiler.
did you? I was like, I was excited for that, but I didn't know that was what was gonna happen.
Again, what did you think the second one was? I guess we had that joke where it was going to be the war's over and it's all the logistical stuff, the cleanup and everything.
Whoops. No, I
lost my
get what you're
sword.
saying, Joe. It's a good point. I just if I had posted that Thanos wins in a like some kind of a
Well,
thread
it doesn't, is
somewhere,
the thing.
kinda. I mean, he does his thing.
I mean, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying that in the overall, once Infinity War is over, I'm pretty sure Thanos doesn't win.
Okay,
Or
but
if
if
they
I
do.
Put that out there.
if I posted that Thanos wins in this movie, somebody would have been like, "Why are you spoiling it? I can't." I think
guess.
someone would count that
Yeah,
as a
that
spoiler.
person is too slack-jawed to enjoy movies, I would say.
Or they're so slack-jawed. You would have gone to this and be like, "Yeah, of course he wins," which I did too. I was like, "That's not surprising." Somebody's like, "Oh my gosh, they let it." What? Like, there's a lot of people out there who had that reaction.
Yeah, we had
Yes.
17 movie or 27 movies or however many it is where like they didn't kill off a single good guy. Then all of a sudden that happens.
Yes.
I guess Coulson was a
seems-
good guy, but he's back in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so.
Yeah, and also, I don't think the people that are gone. Just call it a hunch.
Yeah, all those people that are scheduled to have movies later.
Yes, they literally, some of them are scheduled to have movies later. Like,
There's a
It could be a prequel.
alright, I have to bleep this twice now.
sorry. Well, no. Now they're figuring it out. They're like, wait a minute. There aren't multiples of every comic book character.
Well, no, I'll bleep that whole thing out.
We could have, but we could have a
just cut you
Lazarus
from this
pit.
episode.
Actually,
entirely.
there are multiples of every comic book character. Never mind. There's new. I think
Every new king is a new Black Panther.
Yep.
that's good. Well, yeah, but that's not. That can't happen too often.
It's not T'Challa, yeah.
He's gonna have to have some kids. Or
What if his kids are
what happens
like,
if he dies before he reproduces?
Yeah.
Then his sister probably has to reproduce.
I'm sure there's a succession plan.
Yeah, I would actually. I bet it'd be interesting to see like the next Black Panther isn't about him. Like he doesn't come back, and it's just like his sister who is the techie in the first one. They're like, well, you're up now for some obscure law reason. I don't what.
They're reading like an ancient scroll.
She
It
just
says
make
that
like a Black
the-
Panther robot
It
based on
says
a
the
brother.
one that knoweth the eunuch system shall rule them all.
If thine panther doth not resign for sequel, thou shalt be bestowed upon the sister. I'll probably do it.
Yeah,
Alright.
I think so. If you guys have ideas for our succession plan, sign up on Patreon and leave a comment. Patreon.com/Human Echoes. We'll figure out how this whole thing is passed on in the event of our Thanos melting? Floating?
Sure.
Remember, if you like what you've been watching, you can become a member over at Patreon right now. The link is right in your face, and you will get all kinds of cool stuff.